In a quaint village, nestled among snow-dusted pines, there stood a cozy tavern, known as the Sleepy Owl. The tavern's fame spread far and wide, not only for its warm hearth and hearty meals, but for an interesting lad, the Verran Chef. He was a man of culinary mystery, known for his adventurous spirit and creative concoctions. But there was one creation of his that he never intended to share, a batch of moonshine he'd been brewing in secret. It was a crisp Christmas Eve when it all happened. The chef stood in the tavern's kitchen, hunched over a bubbling pot. The room was filled with the unmistakable odor of fermentation, a rich, earthy scent that could give away the nature of his illicit craft. He was in the middle of making his latest batch of moonshine when the door to the tavern swung open. The town constable, with his deputies in tow, marched in. The chef's heart skipped a beat. The last thing he needed was a visit from the constable, especially with a batch of his moonshine still brewing. The constable was no fool, and he'd been suspicious of the chef's odd kitchen activities for weeks.
Chef, I'm here to inspect your kitchen. The town has received some complaints about unusual smells coming from the place.
The constable boomed, his eyes narrowing. The chef's mind raced. He couldn't let him discover the moonshine. So without thinking, he grabbed the nearest bottle he could find, a jug of root beer that he'd been saving for the tavern's holiday specials, and poured it into the simmering brew. The root beer hissed as it hit the hot liquid, its sweet, familiar scent quickly masking the sharp, tangy odor of the alcohol. Nothing to worry about here, Constable, Verran said, wiping his brow with a cloth. Just a little holiday experiment, a new drink I'm working on for the tavern. Root beer with a special twist. Extra, root. The constable eyed him suspiciously, but after a few moments of scrutinizing the kitchen, he nodded.
All right, well, just keep the place clean and no more funny business.
As the constable and his deputies left, the chef sighed in relief, but something inside him nagged at him. A curiosity about the strange concoction he just inadvertently made. With a smirk, he poured himself a glass of the accidental brew. He took a sip, and his eyes widened in surprise. It was nothing short of spectacular. Smooth, sweet, with a kick that danced on his tongue. The root beer had softened the harshness of the moonshine, creating a drink that was both surprising and addictive. That's when it hit him. This wasn't just an accident. It was a masterpiece. He grinned. He had no intention of letting anyone else know about his little secret, but there was no denying it. He had just created something truly unique. Later that night, he brought out a jug of his new creation and shared it with his patrons. He called it Mischief Moonshine, a name that felt fitting, considering the way it had come to be. It quickly became a hit with the regulars, who relished the unexpected sweetness and warmth it brought to their holiday cheer.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
It looks like cocaine.
That's because it is cocaine.
Oh,